Good morning. Today, or I guess I should say hello. Hello, this is Rebecca from Rebecca Inc. Today we're going to draw a scorpion. They look complicated, but they are not. You're going to have fun drawing this one. Circles, ovals, few arced triangles. So grab a piece of paper, a pencil, a marker, and an eraser or an eraser. Put me on pause, gather that stuff up, and come right back. I'm going to move my guide. You are going to start with your pencil. I'm going to use a marker so that you can see me a little bit better. And we are going to start in the very center of our paper. Our paper is horizontal today. We need to leave room for the pinchers and the tail. So we are going to start with an oval in the center of our paper that's going to be about this big. To get that shape, you're going to get your whole arm going from your shoulder. Round and round you go. You're going to have some lines that fall in, some lines that fall out, but your overall shape is going to be an oval. If you have a hard time seeing that, you can squint your eyes and take a look. It's not going to be perfect, and I don't want you to expect it to be perfect. Right now we're drawing our guides. These will all get erased in the long run, and you will be left with a really cool drawing. So be forgiving. If you need to, take a deep breath, let it out. We're just going to have a little fun. Next up, we're going to do a circle off the back end of that oval. It's going to be about this big. So go ahead and get your whole arm going from your shoulder again and draw that circle. Round and round you go. If it's a little boxy or a little off, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Inside that circle, let's draw another circle right about here. Inside, so now we've created almost like an inner tube. Inside that inner tube, we're going to draw a series of circles going all the way up to create the tail of our scorpion. So for this, the shapes are smaller, so you're going to plant your wrist, and you can air draw it with your fingers first. Round and round you go. When you get the shape going, set your pencil down. You get a nice little circle. Now for this first circle, we're going to add in a little arced shape first. It kind of cuts over that, and then we're going to add in an arc that divides that first circle because they've got some cool little anatomy features there. That'll just give us some more believability in our drawing. All right, up from there, another circle. Now, I didn't stop to count the segments on the scorpion's tails. I don't know if they all have roughly the same amount of segments or if it varies, but I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4 circles, and then I'm kind of at the top of my inner tube there, and then I'm going to do an oval. It's just a little bit longer. And then off of that, an oval that goes outside of our inner tube. And then off of that, an arc, just like that. And then touch your pencil to the tip of that arc and come back. Now when you plant your wrist and you move to get an arc, your hand will go in this kind of motion, and it will naturally give you a really beautiful arc. So if you want to rotate your paper to get that, that's a little cheater way that works beautifully. All right, in between each one of these circles, we're just going to add in one little connecting line. It makes a little triangular shape, but for today's drawing, in the long run, that will just create a little band for us. Their tail is kind of broken up into these segments. It's kind of cool. All right, this is the body of our scorpion. So we've got like the top shell and the underbelly. So inside this oval, we're just going to draw another oval that's going to just be just ever so slightly up from the base of that. So start off on the back end of your oval, kind of trace over what you've already got, and then when you get right about there, cut in. Now we're going to divide this section. They've got like ridges, almost like they have armor. So the top part of them, I believe, is going to be kind of hard. It's a little wider at the back and at the front. So just cutting into that top oval we just drew, we're just going to draw a nice arced line like that. And then every so often coming up. Again, I didn't count, so we're just going to imagine that this is how many there are. There may be actually more. We're not anatomically correct. Okay, moving down, just nice arcs. For me, I'm setting my pencil down and I'm pulling my arm in that arc. If it's easier for you, if that doesn't feel comfortable, plant your wrist, rotate your paper, plant your wrist, and draw your arcs that way. Now this top section is divided up into two parts of the shell. So we're just going to create that with some ovals. So let's draw the bottom oval first. This section of the shell is going to create that bottom part of that oval. And same thing on the top. This part is going to create the one side of that oval and then just kind of cut in. This will be like the connecting part. And where they overlap, we're going to add in a little circle. So plant your wrist and round you go for a little circle. At the very tip of either one of those ovals, we're going to add in a circle. One like that, and one like that. They have a lot of stuff going on right here. I'm kind of editing out some of it because I couldn't make sense of what part it was. So we're just getting the gist of it, but it looks really cool. So, all right, moving back to our body, let's add in the legs. So the back leg is going to be about halfway, about the middle point of that oval. Let me find my words here. And we're going to draw all of these legs with a series of skinny and fat ovals. So this first leg is going to live right about here, and it's going to be a skinny oval, kind of pointed up toward the tail. Then that next section is going to point back down, and it's going to be the fattest section of that leg. I believe that's probably the strongest part of that leg. Next up, we're going to do one long skinny oval, and we're going to give it a division. Just give it a little arc right in the middle. Off of that, a little tiny oval, and off of that, a tiny little arced triangle. Because as if they aren't scary enough, they have these like little claws on their feet as well. All right, our next leg is going to start right about here, kind of off of that arc on the body. We're going to do a little oval, then a bigger, long, skinnier oval. Next up is that strongest part. I'm only guessing it's the strongest part because it's the fattest. And then off of that, a long, skinny oval. Give it that division. And off of that, the little foot with the claw. All right, next up, one more leg right here. We're going to do a little oval. And imagine that would be like their shoulder. And off of that, skinny, a longer bicep. I'm giving it parts. Don't believe these are the real parts. I don't know what they're called. I'm making it up so we can kind of relate it to something we know. Off of that, kind of like a Popeye forearm. It's going to be the strongest part. Off of that, long, skinny oval with a little arc division. And then off of that, the tiny little foot with the claw. The claw is just a little arced triangle. If you wanted to just make that a triangle, you could. That would be fine. All right, let's do the back legs before we get into the front legs. So the back leg, if you touch your finger to this very first leg that we drew and go along the arc that's on the shell, that's about where that back leg is going to be. Okay, kind of same idea. It's living just in front of the center of our body oval. And now the back legs, because of the way that this is angled, they're going to be moving different directions. So this first one, you're going to see that long, skinny oval. And then the fat, strong oval is going to be pointed a little more up. And then off of that one, the long, skinny oval. This is the one with our division. Give it the division and then add in a little foot, long, skinny, with that claw. All right, next up. Now on this one, you're not going to see that little shoulder part. You're just going to see this bicep, we're going to call it, that long skinny oval there. That shoulder part is tucked on the other side of that shell, so you can't see it. Fat oval there. And headed toward the front, that another long skinny oval. If at any point I'm drawing faster than you're drawing, pause me, draw in your ovals, and then hit play, and I'll be right here. A little tiny oval for the foot, and then that arced toenail, claw, whatever it is. Last one, coming right up off that face, skinny oval, fat oval. Now on this leg, a lot of this is going to get hidden by that front, but we're going to draw it in because then you'll be able to sketch it, the parts that are seen, and they'll be believable. So we'll do that long skinny oval there, give it the division, and then the foot. Skinny oval pointed toward the corner of your paper with the claw. All right, now for the cool arms. These are going to be the ones with the pinchers. We're going to start with the bottom one, and we are going to give it a circle that's going to live just in front of this front leg on the front of our scorpion here. Right about here, we're going to draw a circle that's going to be about this big. Plant your wrist, and round you go. Let it be mossy. Get your circle. Now in front of that, just a little bit forward, we're going to draw another circle, just like that. Now we're going to do a little oval, just like that. And another oval. This is the fattest one. Now we are ready for the claw part. The claw is going to be a fat oval and then a little bit skinnier oval. So let's do the fat one first. Fat oval. Round and round we go. For the shape, it's big enough I'm getting my whole arm going from my shoulder. Same thing with this bottom one. Angle it back toward the arm. And then off of each one of these, we are going to add in the claw. I'm planting my wrist, and I'm just drawing a nice little arc. It's about that big. And then headed back. Just like that. Same angle. Plant your wrist, draw a nice little arc. I'm moving my hand so you can see better, but you can rotate your paper and get that arc. Now, on the inside of this claw, when we go to trace over it, this part is nice and solid. This part is nice and solid, but when you get closer to the fat part of that hand, it gets like jaggedy. So let's just add in a few little wavery lines there. Little back and forth and back and forth. Add in a little sharp jag there. All right, let's go to this other side. On this side, we don't see this shoulder. We're kind of starting with this circle. So we're going to draw a circle that's right about here. And then we're going to do this one. So an oval off of that. See how that's going to end up covering up our back leg. Off of that, a fatter oval. It's getting stronger to hold up those pinchers. Now this one, it's angled. This one we see it's like this. This one is angled more like this. Imagine my hand is the claw. So this one you see more of it. This one you see more from the side. So it's going to be built with skinnier ovals stacked on top of each other. So one there, and then just below it, another oval, just like that. Off of that, we're going to have more arcs, but they're going to be facing these. So point them down toward you. There's one there. And go back. Very good. Next one. One there. And go back. Now the inside of that pincher is right here. So just like this side, they have that little bit of ridges. Give yourself those ridges there and connect back. All right, let's add in a few details so that when we trace over it, we know what we're up to. Let's see, let's start on the shell. Imagine the shell is curved in between each one of these little arcs that we drew. If you were to look at it from the side, it would have like a curve like that. So we're just going to add in some curves where those meet up. So curve from one to the next. Add in that little arc. Plant your wrist and add in a little arc in between each one. On the top, they curve like that. On the bottom, they curve down like that. So give yourself some curves in between each one of your segments. Give it some more believability. We're going to look like pros with this one, I think. Now, on the top part of that shell, toward that top part of the oval, we're just going to draw a little mimicking line of that arc that we just drew all the way down. One there, one there. So add in more arcs just below where you had that. And then when you get to the back, connect it back. What we're going to do when we fill in with our marker, we're going to give it like a little highlight in the back. So we will end up with a skinny little white part. We're going to fill some of that in black and leave some of it white. On this head, we're going to add in 2 arcs as well. One there and one there. See, like this little dip right here. Now on their legs, in between each one of the segments, you can choose to draw these in now, or you can wait and just do it when we trace over things with our marker. They're just going to be like little mimicking lines pretty much, but they live kind of at the joints. So they point toward the joint. When they're going up, they're pointing toward the joint. And then when they're coming down, they live above. And they're just like little white sections on their legs. So we're just going to add in a few of those. So on this back leg, we're going to add in one little arc there. Next oval, one little arc there. Let's do the same on the other back leg. We're going to give it a little mimicking arc there and there. All right, go up to that next one. Same thing, there and there. Almost like you're giving it like a little stripe. And one there. Let's move to this big claw. We really only see them on this oval and this oval. So we're going to put one in facing this way on this one and the other way on the next one up. All right, let's move to this front one here. We're going to add a little mimicking line at the back of that oval, at the front of this oval or circle, and at the front of this oval. Now let's do these last 2 legs. Couple little ones here, one arced away, one this way. Can you see these? If you don't see them, don't worry about it. It's just going to be something that'll add a little detail. All right, we're ready for our marker. So set down your pencil. This already looks cool. So I think you're going to be so excited when you see this all drawn in. All right, where do we want to start? Let's start up. Let's start on the shell. We're going to go down this center line here. I'm using a Sharpie. You can use any kind of writing utensil that you can't erase. We're going to go down the center of this oval here and around on the back shell. So we're going to go down, around, and kind of tuck into all those little arcs that we drew. Down from that circle, go around, tuck in, tuck in. Just follow all of the arcs that you just drew all the way back to that tail section. Now we're just going to go around that oval and do that first section on that body. So go around the oval, tuck in there. Let's go back up to the front here. We're going to just do this little section, and then we'll start to do the legs before we do anything else there, because some things get pushed behind, some things go to the front. So we're going to go around the front part of this oval and stop when you get to that circle. Let's go to these front little circles here. We're just going to go around the top part of that one and then the top part of this one. Let's add in a cool detail on that last circle that we just drew. We're going to just touch and flick. They have like these little hairs that live off of that. Pretty creepy. All right, let's go ahead and draw the legs so we know where things live. Let's start with this front claw in the back here. we are going to trace around all the way around this front circle, just like that. And then go a little heavier on that front side. Give it a little shadow there. Next oval, we're going to draw right where they meet up. We're going to go all the way around that oval. And then add in our mimicking line there, just like that. And a little shadow, just like that. This next one, we're just going to do the front and the back. We're not going to draw where they connect. We're going to do the front part there and then the back part. And then add in that little mimicking line and go over the bottom part again as a shadow. Now for this claw, we're going to go along this top part of the oval and then into that arced triangle, down the ridges, and stop. Go around the top part of that oval, connecting arced triangle, back down, add in your little ridges, and stop. From there, we're going to go up the little ridges, down the connecting arced triangle, around the oval, and back to here. So go up your ridges to your point, down the arc, around the oval, and stop when you get there. Now for this one, to get a cool detail, we are going to go around about 3/4 of the way around this oval, connecting back. So we're going to go from maybe right about there, around your oval, and connect back. And I'm going to go over that line one more time to add like a little shadow there. And then we're going to add the shadow along the bottom part. So go from that mimicking line onto that claw and up, just to add like a little bit of shadow there. And then where we had the base part of that arced line up there, trace right back over that just to make it a little bit thicker. All right, next leg. So on this next leg, we're not going to see the section that is going to be behind that front claw. So we're going to just draw right over this front oval all the way. And then the part that's closest to that claw, go over it one more time, give it a shadow. Next oval, draw all the way around. Now if it starts to tuck behind that leg, don't draw that part. Draw your mimicking line and add in a little shadow. Let's go and add in that little bit of the leg there and the foot that you can see. Drawing around the tip of that oval, all the way around this front oval, and the tiny little arced claw. And then the sections that are on the bottom, go over it one more time to give it a little shadow. Next leg, we're moving right along all the way around this front oval, just like that. Shade in, it would kind of be the top, but it's the underneath part of the leg. Shade that in just a little bit to give yourself some shadow. Next oval, go all the way around the parts that you can see there, and then add in your mimicking line, just like that. Next oval, all the way around the oval, add in your little divider, little foot all the way around the oval, add in that arced claw. Now we're going to go a little bit on the base of that and a little bit on the side of that, just for a little shadow, and then the inside part of that oval for a little shadow. Next leg up, all the way around the oval, the part that is closest to that other leg, give that a little shadow. The next oval, you're just going to see a portion of it, so draw the portion that you can see in the mimicking line, and then go around the next oval all the way around with the divider and the foot. Little oval, and add in that toenail. All right, let's go. Let's do the front claw. We are going to draw the portion of this back circle. This next circle is going to read in front, so we're going to do 3/4 of the way around that back circle. So from here all the way around to there where it meets up with that next circle. Add in your mimicking line, just like that. For the next circle, you're going to see about the same amount, 3/4 of the way. So if we're looking at this, it's like it's coming at us. The next oval, you're going to see it's going to overlap just like that, and you're going to leave this to be drawn by the next part. Add in your mimicking line on that in between those two. This next oval, you see the whole thing. So we can go around the whole oval, just like that, and add in our mimicking line. Now we're going to go back in and add a few shadows here. On this first circle we drew, we're going to add a little shadow around the base of that, just give a little curved line. Skip the next one, the middle one, give a little shadow on the front edge, and then last one we just drew, a little shadow on that back edge. Onto this claw, we're going to draw a little hint of that oval right here, just like that. That front oval, just a little hint right there. Then we're going to hop on and go around the oval, up the claw. So around the top part of that oval, stop when you get to the claw. I needed to pick up my hand, it felt uncomfortable. Your hand shouldn't feel uncomfortable. If it feels uncomfortable, rotate to a different direction. All right, down that arc along the jiggy jags. Down the arc, draw in your little jiggy jags, hop back on the arc, and we're gonna go around oval, jiggy jags up to the point. And then we're just going to draw the outside lines here, just like that. Very good. We're going to add in a little shadow around the base of this and the base of that. So you're just drawing over it one more time, making those lines just ever so slightly thicker. It'll give your drawing some dimension and make it a little cooler. If you wanted to, I think I did this on my guide, I added in a couple little dots around the top part of that oval, just like that. Just a cool little detail. You don't have to add that in, but if you want to, you can. All right, let's do these legs, and then we will do the inside of the body. So for these legs, you're essentially drawing around all of the ovals. So this first one, you draw all the way around, add in your mimicking line, and that around the bottom part of that oval, make it a little bit thicker. Next one, all the way around that oval, make the bottom a little thicker. Next one, all the way around that fat little oval, draw your mimicking line and your shadow. Last long section, long skinny section, add in your division line and a little shadow along the back side, all the way around this oval, and then add in your little claw. This next leg, a little bit of that oval gets tucked behind the leg we just drew. So just the portion that is outside of that, draw around that. Then we're going to go all the way around the next oval, go around the front part twice to make it a little thicker, add in a little mimicking line at the back of that, go around the fat part, make the inside part that a little thicker. Next oval all the way around, and then give it the division. Add in your foot and your triangle. Very good. Last leg, draw the part that you can see that lives behind this other one. So just around the oval that much. We're not going to see that section. Then all the way around the next oval. Draw a double line around the base there, all the way around the next oval, draw in the division, around your little foot and your arc. I'm going to add in some shadows there by just going over those lines twice. Okay, now for the inside of the shell. It's going to live behind our legs. That's why I wanted to draw the legs first. So let's do this base part here. We're going to start at that back tail and just draw to where your leg is and stop. I'm going to skip the next two because they live behind my legs. And then I'm going to hop on here. Arc it up, just like that. Now for the head, let's go back to the head. We're going to draw all the way around that circle. All the way around that circle. And if you want to, you can give a little arc on the inside of that circle. Then we're going to hop back on and just go around the edges of those ovals, just like that. Now if you end up with a spot like I did just there that kind of goes where you don't want it to, that's all right. Just make your line a little bit thicker. All right, little happy accidents happen here. All right, now we're going to draw all of our arcs. So plant your wrist and trace over the arcs that you drew, and they're going to meet right up with where you tucked in those other things, and that's going to give it a really cool detail. It's going to make it look like it's got some dimension there. All right, now we're going to draw along the back end the arcs that we had. So go ahead and start at the back, arc it to that section, next section, next section. Keep working toward the head. Again, if I'm going faster than you, pause and draw over the areas I'm saying to draw over. Now we're going to go over that one more time, kind of like we've done with the legs. We're just going to fatten up that line that we just drew. So fatten that up just a little bit. What we're doing with that is creating, I'm going to go over it maybe 2 times. We're creating like a shadow on that shell. We've got like these shells are shiny. And then when you get up to the face, go ahead and do that same thing, headed down. So we just kind of created a little highlight on their shell. Last scary part. All right, we're going to draw the arc that we had. Oh, we got to draw the tummy, so it's not the last part, so almost. All right, then we're going to go around the circle and divide it. Now for all of these next sections, we're going to draw all the way around the circles, and then we're going to add in some shading in those little connecting lines. So draw all the way around your circle, and then on either side of that circle, add in like a little arc there, and then add in that connecting. Just a little bit of the connecting part that you see. All right, up we go. Next circle, little arc in the front, little arc in the back, and add in that connector. Next one, little arc in the front, add in those connectors. All right, last oval this way, around you go. I'm gonna shade in just a little bit around the base of it, not around the front. Add in that connector there. This part is the part that lives in front. Now you're going to go around the top part of that oval, stop when you get to that stinger, and draw over your arc and back. I'm going to add in just a little bit of shading on that top part and a little bit on that bottom part. That's the part that's going to whip up and get ya. Now let's get the tummy. So that very first oval that we drew, the only parts that you end up seeing are in between these 2 legs and from the back leg to the back end. So just draw right over those. Pick your favorite part and draw over it. Look at that, you guys. Super cool. I'm really proud of you, and I cannot wait to see what you drew. I bet these are going to be amazing. All right, you're ready to switch to your eraser. I'm going to switch to my guide because I drew this with pencil, and I'm going to erase right along with you. Steady your paper with your non-drawing hand and just go back and forth and erase. Any kind of eraser will work great. The back of a pencil is perfectly fine. I like the white erasers. They're my favorite. You can use a pink eraser. Anything you have on hand, just go ahead and erase those lines. If you have a section that's a little bit darker, like right up here when I was drawing this part, it's a little darker. I'm just going to take a second, really hold my paper down and go over it a few more times. Just apply a little bit more pressure. You want to get rid of those lines and kind of erase the idea that you had your guides. And then it will look like you just drew this amazing scorpion without any guides at all. Pretty cool. Send me your drawings. You can put them in the comments. Send me your drawings. Can't say it enough. Send me your drawings. That makes me so happy when I see what you've drawn. So send me your drawings. They will live in the comments. I will also put them up on my website, RebeccaInk.com, I-N-K, Rebecca Inc. They'll be under the Interact tab on my website. You can find them there. If you had fun drawing this, like or subscribe, and I will be back on Monday with some more drawing for you. Thanks for drawing with me. I hope you had a good time. We had a really cool scorpion here today. I will see you Monday. Enjoy your weekend. Bye.